Whew. What's up, y'all? Grand Rise. It's your girl, Shree Bad. I hope everybody's feeling fine on this Sunday morning. Some of you have been waiting a long time for me to talk about this. I said I was going to do it, then I said I wasn't going to do it. You know, real life saved certain people twice. But not this time. Not this time. Welcome, everyone, to Requiem for a Dream, Act 2, Part 1, The Unicorn Maker. Now, we're going to do this like how we did the first one for ZX 1400. We're going to go back through my videos. Because as you know, ZX 1400 and Diva Tomboyish like to privatize and delete videos. Okay? We're going to see that a lot throughout this time together. Okay? Now, I'll definitely have to start from the beginning because, you know, like Ma and Pa, I met Diva Tomboyish through who? ZX 1400. I didn't realize my first 2 weeks on YouTube streets would be so informative, you know? And before we really begin, there's going to be times where I'm not going to speak from that present moment, okay? In this scenario with Diva Tomboyish, I almost can't. You see, in these past couple of months, I have had that spiritual awakening, right? In my real life, I've come through a lot of things, not even YouTube streets related, but it still applies to these YouTube streets because as I've been telling y'all, I've been going through this journey with y'all and I wasn't trying to teach y'all shit and I'm trying to ascend and ascend I haven't ascended fully, but I'm mentioning this because a lot of times when I say certain things, you're going to realize I'm coming from a different space. Okay. It's like a look back. All right. Flashback, a commentary on me, how I felt and what happened, right? So, you know, I'm in the chat, I'm in ZX 1400's chat. Different names pop up, different people popped up, different people are bigged up, you know, and when people are bigged up on channels, you go look it up. And I see this name, Diva Tomboyish. I'm a tomboy. You know, I ain't no diva, but I'm a tomboy. You know, so I don't remember exactly how I got introduced, let's say. But she was in the chat. I'm in ZX 1400 chat. We all know my teacher was in the chat, right? We all got that aspect to everything. So one day, I come in the chat, in ZX 1400's chat. I don't even remember what he was talking about. I'll be honest with you, okay? I cannot recall what he was talking about. I don't even think Fundi was up on a panel. I think it was just him at the time talking about whatever. Everybody's cool at this time, all right? There's no problems there's no infighting. Let's say that at this point. There's no real infighting, okay? The only person that I heard about that was crazy or cuckoo was the person I wanted to talk about in Act 4. I'm still not going to say their name because I probably won't talk about them. All right. So, okay, we up in the chat, we chilling, and Jen JT was a mod, of course. And, you know, if you're not a moderator, right, you can't see what happens in the back end. You have no clue whose message got deleted and, you know, who got timed out and who did it and all that other flyness. Y'all know this already, but remember, I didn't. I was no more than 3 weeks born on YouTube at this time. So, you know, I come in, hey, everybody. Next thing you know, Diva Tomboyish is yelling, you know, in the chat, of course. She's not talking, but she's yelling. ZX1400 is confused, like, what the hell? She talking about Jen JT. It's a problem, this, that, and the third. I'm confused. Okay? I'm confused. I don't even know what happened. I'm like, what? Who got a problem? Why? What's wrong with, ain't nothing wrong with this girl. Don't she be coming in here chilling? Ain't all good? What's going on here? So that was the first kerfuffle that I've seen in fighting, right? I even made a video about it. If you go back, it's called Male Supremacy in the Conscious Community. All right? Because, you know, he went back and forth with her somehow. And of course, he was defending the mod. And I didn't know, but this was like the first inkling I had, like, what's going on here? Something, you know, the spidey senses started tingling. All right? And I briefly spoke about it. I didn't specify at all, right? Because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know these people. I wasn't going to say their name just like that and, you know, cause all kind of problems. I'm not fugazi, but like I tell y'all, I'm very respectful on, you know, how I do things initially, okay? There's no reason to disrespect nobody. Ain't got no problems with people like that at that time. So Male Supremacy in the Conscious Community, that video was born, all right? Soon after, in between Male Supremacy and ZX1400 Kicks Rocks, okay, I started going into Diva's chats. And of course, she was talking about what happened in that particular chat with her and Jen JT and ZX1400. And ZX1400 would literally come into her chat and go back and forth with her, which I thought was real disrespectful because you a man. What the hell are you arguing with this woman for? Over some petty ass shit? Some old misunderstanding? This girl timed her out or deleted her, whatever the fuck the case you defended. Come on, man. What are you doing? Like, he was really trying to flip on her religion because she was supposedly a Muslim, you know, and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, it's kind of disrespectful. That's not cool. But I let it go. Why? Because a lot of men out here are like that to a certain degree. You know, well, not even to a certain degree. Many black men are like that nowadays. It wasn't so in my day, but you know, now it is. And I realized that it was a 1, 2, 3 conversation. So let me mind my business for the moment. Okay. But I did peep the fuck shit. All right. So ZX1400 Kicks Rocks was created separately, right? Had nothing to do with Diva Tomboyish. Clearly, that had to do with me, ZX, and the Abortion Live video. I don't know I don't think she was around at that time. All right? We're going to talk about certain things in a second. All right? Then came Addendum. And this is why I'm telling y'all, Addendum was a way more important video than ZX1400 Kicks Rocks. Because once again, not inadvertently, but once again, without saying names, I mentioned Diva Tomboyish. I defended Diva Tomboyish. I asked ZX1400 to apologize to Diva Tomboyish. I did not say her name, but I damn sure did talk about her because I said, I seen what you did, and that was wrong. Okay? Now, somewhere in between male supremacy and the addendum, a gun was shown. Okay? Or maybe a little bit after, because actually, you know, I'm going to tell y'all exactly what it was. Apparently, and this is from another channel holder, one of the commentary type channel holders that just put out the shit but don't say nothing. Okay? They put out the videos of other people. They don't comment on it. They just put it out. So this particular channel holder, okay, put out a piece of the video that Diva did when she wrote the article on ZX1400. This was around October 19th when that channel holder put the video out. I don't know when the video actually came out. Okay? Because remember, people privatize and delete videos. Okay? This same channel holder, who I'm not going to say their name, doesn't matter. Thank you, though. Bless you. Also streamed the first gun video on October 20th, 2019. Okay, this is important for y'all to know. I never saw the gun video at this point. All right? I was too new. I heard about it, but by the time I went to look for it from him, it was already gone. It wasn't there. He deleted it. Okay? I was too late to see it from him. And like I said, I was so brand new. What the hell do I know? You know what I'm saying? It could have been a fake gun. It could have been a BB gun. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I wanted to see this for myself because it was really highly unbelievable that anybody's pulling out a gun on people they never fucking met. Makes no sense. Yes, that was the second red flag, but ZX1400 Can Kick Rocks was created on October 23rd, 2019. That was the date of the original Abortion Live video. Ask ZX1400 where that video is. I bet you it ain't on his page, whatever his page is called. Bet you it's gone. And I know he tried to do another Abortion Live video, tried to change the name or some other dumb thing to fit his narrative. Okay? Great. So once again, I did not see this video at this point in time. Okay? Let's keep going because I'm trying to go chronologically here. And I know at some point the dates are going to be jumbled. Okay? I'm just going to give you events. Why? Because certain people like to privatize and delete their videos almost immediately after they're done. Okay? So if you go through other videos after the ones that I specifically mentioned, you'll hear little snippets here and there of me talking about certain things. Okay? Good. There's one video that I really want you guys to listen to. And it's called A Day on These YT Streets. I still didn't see the gun video at this point. I saw the gun video after this one, okay? And I don't think Diva Tomboyish talked too much about the man waving the gun in her face like, you know, I'm going to sue him, I'm going to get him. She might have, okay? Because I'll tell you the truth. I used to go on in her lives, and I wouldn't know who the hell she was talking about. it would take me 20, 30 minutes to figure out who she was talking about an hour ago. Okay? And by the time I realized who she was talking about an hour ago, she on to the next person. All right? So I was highly confused. And like I said, I didn't know no goddamn body. A day on these YT streets, when I listened to that video recently, I was like, damn, yo. That shit, now that I look back, that shit was an actual warning. That shit was a premonition from the ancestors. In that video, I was listening to Diva. Actually, I talk about 3 different people in that video. I talk about Fundi, I talk about Diva, and I talk about my sis, Indigo, okay? And the Fundi part, great. The sis part, great. But I focused on the live that I was in for Diva. She was going on and going in about a particular channel holder. Once again, I ain't know this person. I ain't know this person from nothing. And let's go back. The thing that I did like about Diva Tomboyish at the time was not spiritual at all. Okay? I had no spiritual connection to Diva except for the fact that she would also be in Fundi's chat. I'm over there, she over there. Okay? I didn't find anything spiritual about this person. That's not what connected me to her. I was connected to the ratchet. I felt she was like a little scrappy. Okay? Always, all I heard, I'm defending myself. And I told y'all in previous videos, I can never be mad at anybody defending themselves. Okay? You go ahead. You defending yourself? Go ahead and rock. I don't know the full story. I don't. But let's go back to a day on these YouTube streets. There were a lot of mind your business moments for me, at this time. And it's funny that if you listen to the video, I even say in the video, I didn't know who she was talking about for the most part. That is how it is for most of the time with Diva Tomboyish. I'm telling y'all, 3/4 of the time. If she ain't put ZX1400 in the name of the fucking live, I ain't know who the hell she was talking about. Because a lot of times she ain't put people name in it. And even if she did put people name in it, I ain't understand they beef. Them is mind your business moments. I'll separate myself from that. She'll talk about certain people. I'll stay quiet. I don't know. I don't mess with them people. Okay? She want to talk shit about ZX1400? I'm all there. What you talk about? Okay? In that video, she was talking about a particular channel holder. I didn't know who the channel holder was, but I will say it was a female. And because to me, she had that warrior spirit, I decided to do yoga. I decided to do a warrior series. The Kundalini started rising in me. I started feeling the things that I felt from way back that I was scared to feel. That I shut down, that I shut out. But this time, it wasn't no bad feeling. It wasn't a scary feeling. It wasn't a feeling like, I was just going to go boop to the ethers and that's it. It was a good feeling. I felt goddess energy inside. And I sat back down. And I went back in the chat. And I wasn't, if I'm doing yoga, what the fuck am I looking at the chat for? Or I'm looking at the video for? Okay? I'm just hearing a voice. So when I go back in the chat with all this energy that I've done for myself and, Shorty Diva Tomboyish, because it was her live, somebody else tries to come at me. All right? Because I said, oh, that's a woman talking. I thought that was a man. The person had a very deep voice. I wasn't talking about Diva Tomboyish. I was talking about the person that she was, playback. Excuse me. And the person started going in on me. Of course, I'm responding kindly. That was what the whole video was about. But something that the person said struck me. And it struck me so much that I mentioned it in this video. The chick said that I was the stalker. Who the fuck is this stalker? What are you talking about? Stalking who? For what? It's that deep that motherfuckers is stalking you, homegirl? That's crazy. And it was that whole stalking play that kept me like, yo, that's fucked up. I don't understand all this doxing and all. Damn. Oh, you had to do that to defend yourself, to retaliate against them and da-da. Yeah, that's fucked up. I still don't know who the fuck you're talking about. But if what you're saying is true, that's fucking crazy. I got pulled in, y'all. Mind you, I ain't talk bad about too many people. But there were certain channel holders I ain't say nothing about. Nope. They had nothing to do with me. We'll get to that. I spoke about many things that, rings so true now because I've said them in future videos. It was the first time in that particular video that I said, before you deem something true, consider the source. Who did I use that for? I got a whole video based on that. That was the title of the video for Mr. Ignorance. That was much later on, of course. That was later on in November. Mr. Spanky was created on November 14th. All right? So a lot happens between October 19th and November 14th. We'll get to that. Let's go back to a day on these YT streets. I talked about focus. And I said that, you can focus on the right things, but they can turn wrong. Right? I talked about control and respect and how these things can, skewer a view. I talked about how respect is not coerced, it's not forced, and it has nothing to do with agreeance. I mentioned that I didn't take things personally. I was very proud of myself for that. I also learned that at a young age, you learn how to bullshit people and you learn how to get over. I didn't expect for that to happen at such later ages, right? I told y'all people come into your life off the rip. I might feel you, you do certain things, or I might feel you in a certain way. I might respect you in a certain way, or like you in a certain way, but then some could fall to the wayside. And some could stay around, right? You give everybody an initial respect as human beings, and then based off that, respect is earned, My levels of trust are different than others because I could trust you to be a snake, right? 100%. And I could trust you to have about 20% of integrity. Yeah, I love math, y'all. Those are the type of trusts that I have. I could trust this person over here to be a liar, and I could trust this person over here to always be honest. You see, I specify my trust. I don't trust too many people with my heart, and I sure don't trust a lot of people with my brain. The goal is to not to give anybody enough trust on your free will, right? I trust me 100% enough to control my free will. That's not something you want to give to just anybody. So, okay, I was real proud of myself after that video. But it's like, how do you do yoga, right? And then jump into something fuckery like that? At that time, I felt like, I did the yoga and I was able to respond properly to this particular person. Not Diva Tomboyish, because Diva Tomboyish was oblivious to whatever the fuck was going on at that time. But it should have been the first red flag. For me, I should have seen that as the ancestors in the universe saying, hey, maybe you should be careful here. Okay? Maybe you should be careful. Remember, the name of this video is called The Unicorn Maker, okay? So we're going to get to that. Now, at this point in time, this was before the retreat. Remember, y'all, I went to the retreat. Great time at the retreat. During that trip, I met a sage. And the sage and I had a discussion. And I was real ignorant on shit. I truly knew nothing. I did not understand certain things at all. I did not understand certain beefs. They made no sense to me. I'm new coming in, so I'm looking like, what the hell? Who does all this shit to each other? And they never met. Just go meet and fight, yo. The fuck? I don't care who it is. I don't care who you like and who I like. I don't give a fuck. It's all crazy to me. And I got the best piece of advice from this particular sage. They said, be careful. And I said, all right. So moving forward, I kept that in the back of my head, okay? Especially when I came back from the retreat, I'm still chill with this lady, Diva Tomboyish. It ain't no problems with me. We cool. I never spoke to this lady in a back chat at this time. Never. Okay? We're going to get to the back chat talking. That'll probably be part 3. Okay? Yeah. Y'all just remember them dates that we gave y'all of Christmas. Okay? We still in October, November-ish. All right? We ain't in December yet, y'all. All right? So just hold that. Hold that. Because we're going to get there. So when I came back from the retreat, I started hearing certain things from Diva Tomboyish in her lives. I still ain't know who the hell she was talking about. She still was barking and yelling and screaming about something or another. But I started to hear certain things that made me be like, really? One of them things was, I stand alone. At first, I got it. I stand alone. I'm a little scrappy. I fight for myself. Y'all just listening. Y'all just here watching me defend myself. Who's that sound like, y'all? Shh. Don't say nothing yet. Don't say nothing, y'all. Don't tell me who that sound like right now. Okay, this is why this isn't uploaded, not alive. Shh. Hold that. Even though this other person doesn't say I stand alone. But whatever. So, I stand alone. Well, if you stand alone, what the fuck you talking to us for? What you need us for? What do you need our support for? You don't. If you stand alone, what the fuck do you care? Why are you mad at anything going on with any of these people? What does it matter? It don't. See, at this point in time, y'all, dates and times are going to be a little skewed because I'm just going to talk about events. Okay? So, there were certain things happening, certain talks. Remember, I told y'all about this stalker person, right? Oh, and at one point, I remember she said she was pregnant. Diva Tomboyish said she was pregnant. So I was also like, well, why are you going through all this if you're pregnant? But you never heard about that again. So, I kept that at the mind your business moment too, because y'all know what I went through with my pregnancies. So I just assumed, remember what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? I don't back chat with this girl. I'm not going to be asking her no questions like that. That's none of my business. But I do remember she said, yes, I'm pregnant, while going through all this dumb shit. Another thing that struck me funny was she would always talk about these people that she don't associate with, but people always say that she associates with them. Well, if you don't associate with these people, don't associate with these people. Hey, they have nothing to do with me either. I don't know them. I don't care. Talk about the X1400 though, I'm all in it. Hey, you talking about you having a great day, you playing some music, hey, all this, all that, let's do a little dance, be silly. I'm for that too. Right? I was all for that. I don't know or trust any of you niggas. She says that a couple times. And I'm like, that's facts. You don't know us. You don't trust us? Okay. Why would people trust you? If you don't trust us, why would people trust you? Now, folks, let me tell y'all something. I used to say, I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody. You know how absolute the word no and nobody is? No one. You know how absolute everyone is or all? Those are absolutes. Okay? There's no gray area. You have to specify. I don't trust no one except a few people. I don't trust no one on here. Okay? That's not even an exception. So you love Fundi and you love your aunties, whoever they were at the time, right? But you don't trust no one on here. See, that was a little contradictory to me. But remember, I don't know the backstory. I don't know all this shit behind the scenes. I know what happened 3 weeks before I jumped on the mix. I don't know. I wasn't privy to these network episodes and shit like this that we know about now. I wasn't privy. Before I go any further, I gotta let y'all know it's important for me to talk about this first because I have questions. And you're not going to understand the questions unless you know these backstories right here as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Good. Now, before we get into the things that did bring up slight red flags for me with Diva Tomboyish. And sometimes when you got people that you cool with, I'm not going to say she was my friend. No, I'm not doing that. She wasn't my friend. I ain't talked to her on the phone. I ain't, email or DM or none of that extra shit. We weren't even friends on Instagram. Our friend requested her. She never accepted it. Okay. That didn't have nothing to do with me. Right? She was going through all this shit. I didn't expect her to trust too many people. But if you love certain people so much, I would expect you to have a level of trust for them. And I would have expected you to meet them. Okay? At least. You see, as y'all know, I don't ride for somebody hard that I never met. Okay? I met certain people. So I rides for them. Okay? I've talked to certain people. So I rides for them. Okay? Yeah. Now, before we get into the red flags, let me tell you about the day that I officially became a unicorn. Like I told y'all, she was still going back and forth here and there with ZX1400. He was talking about me, I was a flying monkey. She was a little extra shit. Somebody else was something else. Somebody else was the third. It was that back and forth going on. And he would still come into Diva's chat to disrespect her. Okay? Like he do now. He'll go in like, certain people's chats talking that bullshit. Like he big and bad, and then, somebody gotta block him or whatever, time him out, cuss him out, all that. So he came in there and he was talking his shit. And she was like, oh, in Diva's chat, you had to put up crowns in the chat, that represented Diva. Like how the worlds and the ones represented world and shit like that. See, Fundi ain't had no shit like that. Motherfucker just put up like purple hearts and shit. And Fundi is Fundi. All right? Where the unicorn came from was a being named Uni. Okay? Uni is a stuffed animal unicorn head on a stick. Uni does not talk like I do and you do. Uni will nod its head, mental telepathy with Fundi, and then Fundi will translate. All right? You want to call it a puppet? Fundi is the keeper of the ledger of truth. And the ledger of truth is important because all this scam business is bullshit. Because you have seen Fundi Fee on her lives pull out the ledger of truth. And what does she do in the ledger of truth? She writes down who donated what and how much. Uni, the stuffed animal head on a stick, will look it over, nod the head, and go out. That's the unicorn. Okay? That was the only unicorn. Ain't nobody else in Fundi's chat was on some old, we the unicorns. No. If we put up a unicorn in the chat, it's because Uni came on. Uni doing the damn thing. Yeah, motherfuckers, I like Sesame Street. I like the Muppets and I like Fraggle Rock. Bitch, I grew up on that shit. So why wouldn't I like a fucking unicorn stuffed toy animal head on a stick? Hell yeah, I like that shit. I didn't like Mr. Rogers, but I watched that motherfucker too. So what? What that mean? Come on, man. Think. Anywho. So I'm in Diva's chat. There's a couple people in Diva's chat or whatever. I don't even know if I became a mod at this time. I don't remember how I became a mod or when I became a mod. It's just like this whole mod thing, but whatever. So ZX is up in there and Diva is like, put some crowns in the chat for me. People putting crowns in the chat. No problem. This is her chat. We respecting her chat, whatever. Respect the channel holder. You feel me? I didn't have no particular problem with this lady. So respect the goddamn channel. I guess she told ZX of 1400 to put up a motorcycle or whatever the fuck he wanted to put up. Right? So she was like, yeah, put whoever you down with in the chat. So we all like, what you talking about? So she was like, well, if you down with Fundi, put some unicorns in the chat. And I remember literally typing, well, I sure am down with Fundi. So I guess I'm a unicorn today. I became a unicorn. I didn't become a unicorn from Fundi. Fundi didn't knight me with the unicorn head and said, you are now Sir Shri, Knight of the Unicorn Roundtable. No, bitches. It ain't happened like that. I was in somebody else's chat who deemed us unicorns. But of course, back then, I didn't understand the run-ins. She's all up in Fundi's chat all the time, too. So I ain't see no problem with it. Okay? So I became a unicorn. Now, let's go to the things that had me change my mind. And we're going to talk about the things before Diva's so-called break. Okay? Because remember, Diva took a break. Maybe she has taken a couple breaks all these years, but I'm talking about the break I know. Right? When she comes back from the break, we'll talk about that in part 2, because that leads up to that video calling all unicorns. But let's go back. All right, let's go way back. So remember, on a day in these YouTube streets, I was called a stalker. Diva was talking about some stalker. It seemed like she was talking about 2 cats that were stalkers. I didn't know who the hell she was talking about, but one name that I gleaned was Edit God. And I was like, who is this Edit God cat? You know what I'm saying? Let me start looking into this shit here. Who is this Edit God? And I went on his page. This was actually after Mrs. Spanky. No, not after Mrs. Spanky. A little bit before Mrs. Spanky. So this was like early November. Probably second week in November. Yeah, second week in November. I went to Eddie God's page and I looked at his videos. This was before he got flagged by ZX1400, of course. But yeah, how critical. So I'm checking out, because he didn't even have beef with ZX1400 then. It was mostly Diva. Excuse me. So I go on his page and I don't find no stalker energy. None of that. Dude is talking with common sense. He's talking mad calm. You know, he's angry or whatever, but he's not barking like homegirl and yelling and screaming, talking about, yo, I'm gonna stalk you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna kill you, all this other shit that she was talking about. He stated his case. The same thing she was saying, he doxed me, blah, 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 these people doxed me. He was saying the same thing about her. And since I ain't know who was who, I decided to cancel them both out and call it a mind your business moment. He said, she said, heads ain't got no real proof. Hey, and I'm not saying Edit God didn't have no proof, okay? I just didn't know at that time. I had no clue. But from what I seen in his videos, it didn't seem like who the fuck she was talking about stalking her. He ain't seem like no stalker cat like that. I could have been wrong. He could have been the biggest stalker out there. He could have been Charles Manson for all I know, but I didn't get them vibes. But remember, I didn't get them vibes from ZX1400 either at first, but it came up. So I said to myself, this cat Edit God ain't a winner. We shall see. I'm going to leave it alone, but right now, I don't got no problem with no Edit God. I don't see him doing what the fuck she's talking about. So I always felt that Edit God was Edit God. She had a problem with him, and this so-called stalker was somebody else who she never said it was. Okay, I'm still waiting to hear who that is. Maybe that's my first question. Who was the stalker? You know, and you talked about pregnancy. Maybe I shouldn't have to ask about that, right? Because I'm not one of these type of people to dox people and screen record people and all this other bullshit. I'll screenshot your ass though. Yeah, I will. So I said, you know what? I don't know about that whole Edit God thing. I'm gonna put Edit God to the side. I don't have no problem with Edit God. I don't see him as no fuck shit. I'm gonna leave it over here. We're gonna call it the mind your business moment. That's my New York way of thinking. Let's move on. The second thing that got me on a red flag, like the Spidey says, like, hey girl, watch out for this, was Sharon Allen. Okay? She did an article on Sharon Allen. And I didn't understand why. I mean, she also did an article on Vic, right? And I kind of understood why, but still didn't really. I actually went on her website and read those articles, and she literally doxed Sharon Allen. I didn't get the gist of her story, really. I didn't quite fully understand it. But next thing I know, she took down the article on Vic, and her and Vic is cool. Okay, make up with somebody. But then Sharon Allen tried to defend herself. And I went to look at Sharon Allen's video because she did a live. I didn't see her live, but I sure did see the replay. And this lady's main problem was with Vic. I don't even think she fully understood what Diva had to do with it. Like, why would you write an article on this lady? What is she doing? She's not no crazy mastermind woman. She disagreed with Vic. She wanted some money back. Okay, bye. What is that? And you stand alone, but you don't trust nobody. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, yes, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit because I almost forgot about this. Y'all don't know that I did a live, right? I did a live. Let me see if I can pull up the date for y'all real quick because that's the only date that I did not pull up right now. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. You want real life hit y'all? Yeah, so I found it. My live was done on November 11th. Okay? And I made it private because certain people asked me to. And I inadvertently streamed somebody. They didn't want me to stream it. And I didn't know, the complications or the ramifications or whatever back then. But this live was important because I did talk about that gun video. And apparently the second gun video that ZX1400 did, waving a different gun at Diva Tomboyish. Okay? You see, by November 11th, I did see the first gun video from said channel holder. I didn't see it when it happened. I saw it a couple of weeks afterwards. And as soon as I saw it, I was thoroughly disgusted. Okay? When I went to see the video where he pulled out the second gun, he had already put it away. All right? I was late to the party. But I heard about it and I believed it that time. And I vocalized that shit that time. But because I was talking about other people at the same time, I didn't put that live out. That is also important to know for later, for part 3. All right? Yay. Got to that. Very good. Y'all remember this whole gun shit, okay? And let's do a quick sidebar here. I don't give a fuck who you are, where you from. You're not waving no motherfucking gun in my face online or in person. You heard me? You heard? Now, I don't know if I call the police on you, the FBI on you. I don't know if I would try to get goons on you. I don't know, because that ain't happened to me. But I damn sure would never, ever fuck with you again. Ever. Ever. Whether I met you or not. Heard? Copy? Cool. Keep that in mind too. Okay? The third red flag that I had before Diva took her break for school is with Sui. Now, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know real quick. My act 3 was supposed to be Sui, right? It's not necessary, okay? It's no longer necessary to do act 3. But let's talk about Sui real fast and why that made me turn my head. So, I felt like Sui was the ops, right? Sui was down with ZX1400. I ain't like ZX1400, so fuck that cat. Now, remember, y'all, in videos, I talk to y'all about not hating somebody so much that you gonna go with the hateful people, you know, the enemy of my enemy is not always my friend, all that fly shit. Yeah, why y'all think I said this shit? Because I almost went there with this girl because of that guy, right? I almost went to the enemy of my enemy is my friend because of what ZX1400 did to Diva Tomboyish. Okay? Now, I knew she didn't like Sui. I didn't really like Sui either at that time. I called him Mr. Wiggs. I did not understand why he was down with this fool, ZX1400. There were certain things I did understand, but I couldn't put them into place. There was no connecting the dots. I didn't know these people to talk to them like that. Shout out to Sui, though. In more ways than one. As you all well know. Investigative reporting at its finest. Anywho. So, Sui went on one live. He went on his former friend's live to try to defend himself against all the people that did not like him. He went up against Vic, and these people came on who apparently knew Sui from previous interactions in a different sector, I guess. And Sui was all these different types of things, and they presented their case, and they presented, you know, they said they had a phone call, you know, from a family member and blah, 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 and this and that. And he did all these things and ooh, ah, ooh. And I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Then another channel holder, a male channel holder, who I really felt was cool with Sui, tried to defend Sui, did a live. Same people came on it again. This time, them people played the freaking audio of the family member talking about Sui. They got him. As far as I was concerned, they got him, right? Okay, if you telling the truth, you telling the truth. You have established that. That's messed up. But around this time, ZX1400 was also doing award tours, okay? Once he started getting into Fundi Fee, he tried to get with many different channel holders to formulate the team. I seen it. I peeped it. See, I did a playlist called Shook Ones Volume 1. There's a song on there called Award Tour. Because I seen the motherfuckers going to different channel holders trying to be nice, trying to kick it, trying to kiss their ass. And if they didn't kiss his ass, he would talk about it, right? Get his content. But if he was cool with him, something else, okay. So now, these same people who talked about Sui on different platforms are now going to come to Diva's channel to talk about Sui again. Talk about what? The same shit they talked about before? They don't need to go on an award tour. If they write, they write. Say it one time, take it to the police, and let them make it work. But unlike the first two channel holders, Diva did not like Sui at all, so I knew it was malicious as fuck. And I was like, God damn, you ain't even got to do your own thing. Just play these other motherfuckers shit. Let Karma handle that, if that's the case. But once again, she stands alone and she don't trust nobody. She don't give a fuck about nobody, right? Right. We was all unicorns. We was down, right? Right. She ain't coming from these chats so much by this time. By the time of the Suey and things like this. Oh, and let's go back because by this time now, she's getting into it with this little girl. Who this little girl is? Cherry? Who is this little girl? I didn't understand nothing about this little girl. The thing about this little girl that struck me crazy is that she gets into it with this little girl for God only knows what reason. Who the fuck knows? But also involved with this little girl is a man that she says she ain't got nothing to do with. Really? Everybody says I was down with this one, but I don't have nothing to do with them. But then we find out that you did. So what's going on? What's going on here? But once again, mind your business moments, you know? Once I find out who she talking about, I'm like, okay, whatever. It's good. But as a person, I'm like, hey, you okay? Everything's good? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because she ain't do me nothing. She cool with me? She ain't do me nothing yet. She was cool with me. Even though all these red flags are showing up. And I'm having mind your business moments all over the place. We're going to stop it here because it's about an hour. All right? I don't have no reason to lie. And trust me, this will come into play. All of this will come into play when we go into part 2. Okay? Act 2, part 2. And before I go, I named this video The Unicorn Maker. Why? Because not only did Shorty create the term, the unicorns, but she tried to use me to kill the unicorn. All right? Facts, y'all. She tried to make me a pawn. This is why me and her ain't cool. But you'll find out more in part 2. And in part 3, okay? I told y'all this was a long time coming. And the universe hooked me up to say pause so that I can learn more things, understand more things, see more things. Feel me? Y'all just go back and check dates, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later.